Baruch be Yahweh, Baruch be Yahweh Shai. Peace and honors to the hopeful elect, and double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth in all sincerity. So, over the weekend, you couldn't help but notice that this other, especially if you get the recommended for you videos, I mean, they always pop up for me, and you can't help but notice, though, that the Sakari channel, in particularly, they threw the label Black Hebrew Israelites, Hulk Hogan versus the Black Hebrew Israelites. And then they had another one where Edomite gets struck down, by God, pretty much, and they put big titles like that on their videos so people will watch them, obviously. I mean, you can't help but want to click it, but then, if you watch wrestling, you can notice that this Edomite may have the same hairstyle, may do everything else like Hulk Hogan, but it doesn't take you long to figure out that that's not Hulk Hogan. But, just like everything else, so they want to use the name Black Hebrew Israelites, to make us look like we're a cult. Well, in essence, though, we don't teach what others teach. We don't teach in the name of Jesus Christ. We do not use older names because these are all names of Esau. So we don't use the name Jesus Christ, and we definitely, don't call ourselves Black Hebrew Israelites because this ain't even about being black or white, Hispanic or Native American. In the essence that, yes, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Hebrew Israelites, but not all of us look like. But you got a lot of us even within that mixture that are really Edomites, that have an Edomite father, but nobody really wants to talk about that, An Edomite father who mated with an Israelite woman. It's happened for a long time. So you got to test the spirit. Well, not all of us are going to look alike because Israel is a conquered nation. They were conquered in 70 A.D. We know that the Bible points out everything that's happened. When they went into the temple and set up the abomination of desolation, as in 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 54, that this had already happened. But Esau wants you to believe that's a future thing, that there's this future Antichrist, because he doesn't want to name himself as the Anti-Mashiach, even though we know that it's Esau, that it is one, it's many. Satan is many. Esau is many. And if you even look at the definitions of Satan, Esau's name comes up. So we're teaching the correct doctrine. Esau is the so-called white man, and that we know where his dwelling places are. But pretty much he has succumbed to the whole world. And we also know about his charade in Syria. As Jeremiah tells us in chapter 49, which we know is happening now, for I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered all of his secret hiding places. And we know that it is Esau, the Edomites, that are, that are pretty much ISIS, pretended to be ISIS, to pretend to be that Taragu. Just like they have that set up in Syria, they're setting this up over here, by having all these other false groups out there teaching false doctrines. We know that they were set up by Esau. Because Esau wants to put on the name Black Hebrew Israelites, And again, it's not even about all that. It's about finding the spirit of prophecy. That's how you can tell who an Israelite is, if they have the spirit of prophecy. Paul the Apostle talked about this very thing. That of all the gifts, though, that the spirit of prophecy is the ultimate one. If you don't have the spirit of prophecy, then you're not an Israelite. You're not part of the elect. You might be an Israelite, but you're not part of the elect. You're part of that 2/3. And we can see that 2/3 of our people, you can't tell the difference between them or an Edomite. So you just have to say, well, they're not part of the elect. And that's what we do. And Esau doesn't like the fact that we're coming to this truth, He doesn't like that we have uncovered him. Every day he's getting exposed for his wickedness in Syria, and how he's galvanized Syria and murdered tons and tons of people, all because he wants to control the oil. That he's doing the Israeli state in Levant, doing all their secret biddings, but we know that the Israeli state is really Edomites. It's Amalek. the top part of Esau. We know that they're not the real Hebrew Israelites. But you can see, you know, looking through all the old clips and all that, that they still want to put a label on. And just say, oh, well, this group's different than the black Hebrew Israelites. Even though we know that the Israelites, you know, the tribe of Judah in particularly, is of dark skin. But you got a lot of us that, during that time period, after the 1,000 years were expired and Satan was loosed from his prison, you got a lot of us that had laid with Edomite women because we were being slaughtered, of course. Because we know that Esau is filthy and evil and wicked, that of course an Edomite woman is going to want what we have, wants to be treated right. We know how Esau treats his women, treats them like shit. You know, and you know, their self-esteem is so low, that's why they commit suicide and everything. You know, we talk about this and everything else on the streets. So Esau wants to come against this, you know. But we're well aware. We're as wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. So we know about all of these things, you know. Because the spirit of prophecy is upon us. You can't pluck the elect of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai away. It just can't be done, but they'd like to try. They certainly are going to try to come against us. But if they're coming against us, then we know we're the ones that are teaching it right. And pretty much all the Sakari channel is you know, how they've confronted the elders, you know, pretend to cuss them out. Maybe he is cussing them out in the chat room. You know, that's another thing about Great Millstone. We don't call up ISUPK and cuss out Johanna, you know, but Johanna and his elite come up to our camps and start cussing us out and picking fights with us, but we're not going over to his camp and starting a bunch of shit. You know, so we know that these groups are controlled by Esau, the so-called white man. We know that these people had sold out, even though they'll never tell you that they sold out. But we know that this whole thing's a stage. We know that this is a stage to make us look like we're violent. And that's another thing in that Sakari video, you know, where it says, struck a white man down. We had seen, though, that, you know, that Edomite was pushed down by someone else, you know. And we're not doing shit like that. You take a good look at the Great Millstone videos, and you can see, though, that we're not pushing people on the street. We will push people back. Don't get us wrong, but we've never struck anybody or anything like that. You know, we don't do those sort of things to get popular things on our video. We're not even about popularity. We're not the most popular Israelite group, I can guarantee you that. We just happen to be the most. Because of the fact that we're the hopeful elect. Because we're the only ones that are teaching it right, giving you the true breakdown of Esau, the so-called white man. And they really hate the fact that there's many confusion and faces amongst us. They hate us for that, you know. They especially come against the Seattle group, you know, because you have a Hebrew Israelite who's the leader of that group who doesn't look like the main three. Doesn't look like he's black or Hispanic or Native American. But that doesn't mean he ain't an Israelite. You see, we can't trace who our fathers are. All we know is that we've been protected for this time, and then it was time to come out. We were a conquered nation a long time ago, and so we're coming out of the woodworks. He's waking us up as to who we are. And Esau would like to slow down this process, but it's happening at a rapid rate because this whole thing's about to come undone. Esau will destroy himself because we know that Russia is part of the plan, and that Russia, after he destroys America, will also come against the Most High, because really, truly, America ain't in this thing anymore. The whore of Babylon, all these nations are about to consult with Russia to come against this piece of shit America. America will finally be destroyed by nuclear fire. The entire world is going to isolate the whore, America, and burn her with fire. Then they're going to unite together because they'll see the chariots. They're all going to unite together to come against the Lamb, the Most High. We know that all this is about to take place. And not to forget the mark of the beast. I'm sorry I can't do live streams like I had planned. Again, this is older equipment. It's an iPhone 4. I mean, that's how old this is. And I can't even get a webcam to work with a fuck on this older equipment. And none of it is compatible to today's thing because of Windows 10, all this other shit. So it's not as easy to do a live video, but I can certainly do these things. I just like everything else, we're not rich people for sure. So we don't get new equipment. So we just use what we got with the talents that we got. And that's just it. Waking up the hopeful elect. So hopefully everybody's been edified by this. And shalom.